Hi, welcome back. With that short, whatever. All right, welcome back to another OnlyFray's podcast with moi, Frayle, Frey or OnlyFray's. But this episode, I'm gonna be talking more of the places I've been. I'm gonna do 3 of them. Seneca Rocks, and I'll tell you a little brief. I actually know a little bit of brief history on that and how sentimental it is to me. Spruce Knob, I'll get to a little bit, and be patient with me pronouncing this because it's a tongue twister. It's a Monongahela. I said it. Monongahela National Forest. Monongahela National Forest. It is. I'm gonna go ahead and start with that one. I just had it. Monongahela National Forest is a huge national forest in West Virginia that stretches like this, pretty much the whole strip, and there's other spots just where the Allegheny and I think Blue Ridge or Appalachian Mountains meet, and they all just formed all throughout the region. Excuse me. Throughout the region of West Virginia, and let me tell you, there are certain places there you don't get no cell phone service, none. Especially, and I rode past it. I wasn't able to take a tour because, unfortunately, you have to have your. Well, I mean, it is a huge science and like kind of NASA-ish facility because they have the hugest satellite radio frequency towers on the East Coast, and they block both sides of the mountains. The mountains block off all radio signals. Like, the town doesn't even have like Wi-Fi, internet. They don't even have. They don't. I mean, I'm sure they have some type of like internet access, but from what I have experienced, they have no cell service, none at all. But it's called the Green Banks Observatory. It was let's see, I think it was like 17 something or 18 something. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with the years, but it's called Green Banks Observatory. Like I said, the last one, Google is your best friend. The satellite years, I tried to get a good picture of them, but I really couldn't. But they're massive, like huge, and they've been collecting like frequencies from space for years, and it's like they're like, I think one satellite's like 5 tons, and it can like pivot and move like in an instant. And I thought it was pretty interesting driving by it and like, ooh, sorry, a little neck and pop back problem, but absolutely amazing to see. But after that, I made it to Spruce Knob. Spruce Knob is the highest summit peak and elevation in the state of West Virginia, and yes, you can drive up there. I made the drove, and let me tell you, if it's like 70, 80 something degrees down at the bottom of that mountain, expect it to be about 50, 60 and below, because it was chilly up there. And if it's partially cloudy, you best believe it's going to be wet, foggy, damp. It's going to be raining up there. Like, you're up there. It's 4,863 feet above sea level. That's pretty high up there. Like it was perfect enough where when I went, I could like get up there and actually see all the mountain ranges from the top part of Spruce Knob. And there's like little trails you can veer off to and like go to these little rock formations. They have benches. They even have a tower on top of the mountain. It was actually breathtaking. Like the air up there was so like, it was like crisp. Like you just breathed in clean air. There wasn't even no type of pollution like in that area. No factories, no car fumes. It was, you could actually smell the pines, you can smell everything. There's flowers. Like you just brought it all in, and it was just absolutely amazing. But yeah, the elevation of Spruce Knob is 4,863 feet above sea level. When you're going up the mountain, if you ever do visit it, take your time. No rush. It's a good little drive. Believe me, and it's a good little drive down. But take your time, because you will miss out like all sorts of like wildlife. Like I saw like 3 or 4 hawks, and 3 or 4 of them were like different, and they were I was just like, oh shit. Lots of deer and massive deer, so be careful. And they will jump from the bank of the mountain, like the hill where the embankment is, where the road is. They will jump over the road and land, and they'll tumble. Like it was crazy, and they just kept going. Like absolutely phenomenal. Like beautiful. Highly recommend. All right, as I kind of fumbled in the last one about Seneca Rocks. Seneca Rocks has been a sentimental place for me, because it was one of my good memories as a kid, going fishing with my dad's dad, my grandpa, and my dad. Trout fishing, nice trout fishing up there. And Seneca Rocks is a mountain formation of like granite. I think it's granite and limestone, and it's real jagged. It's up like this, and it comes down, and it's like a little peak, and then you can like goes like that. If you go to the OnlyFray's Instagram or my Instagram, you can see it. You can even climb Seneca Rock. It was, I didn't climb it because it was, like I said, it was like a wet, foggy, rainy day, so I wasn't able to go to do that. But you got people all over. They'll come there and climb because it's so like sharp and rugged and jagged. People like I think over the 15 something years, there's only been like, I think five or 7 deaths from climbing. And I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a good bit for rock climbing. But also, it was also used in World War II to train troops to muzzle their gunfire and the recoil of the sound to keep it silent. Yeah, this is mind blowing to me. Like soldiers went to Seneca Rocks, West Virginia, to learn how to muzzle their guns for D-Day. Like that was pretty cool. And also in Seneca Rocks, they have Seneca Caverns or smoke hole caverns. The caverns were formed in like 480 or 460 something million years ago, made out of salt life, what is the word? Seashells and other crustaceans and stuff like that. It all formed caverns, and you can take tours of them and everything like that. I didn't get a chance because they were closed because of the weather, but that's another interesting fact. The Allegheny, the Appalachian Mountains, and all those mountains were formed 4 to 500 million. I believe it's million. It could be billion. Million years ago, and it was under seawater. It was. Could you imagine Spruce Knob, the one that was 4,863 feet above sea level, was actually underwater. And then when plates came, well, I mean, tectonic plates, everybody knows, remember that from science, they hit and they formed mountains. So that's why there's a lot of history and a lot of unknown history, unstudied and unlearned history that people don't really go into, of learning things like millions of years ago. That's how. But anyway, but the Monongahela National Forest, beautiful, beautiful. Like a couple weeks ago when I was there, that time of year, the leaves were starting to like crisp and turn green, starting to like really form. There's all kinds of wildlife. You got foxes, you got flying squirrels, chipmunks, black bears. Some people even say there's wolves, but I didn't get to see the bears or the wolves, but I know they're in the area. But yeah, that's what all I did in one day, and then I camped out a little bit further down towards where was it? Oh, like I was going towards Dolly Sod's Blackwater Falls, which I'm about to talk to about in the next episode. But if this caught your interest, keep listening. Listen to the next episode about Blackwater Falls, Dolly Sod's, Harper's Ferry, and maybe just a smidge bit of, because I did all that in one day and then went to DC like after that. It wasn't that far of a drive. It was just, that was a long day for me. But keep sharing and watching and listening on the OnlyFray's podcast.